Patients and visits. I'm now going to explain to you how you can record your patients and consultations within the Vision system. Before I start showing you, I want to stress one very important thing, that every time you come into Vision, if you want to use the patient's database, you must always click the patient's icon before you do anything else. If you proceed to repertorize and work your case out, you cannot then retrofit your analysis into the patient's database. You must always remember to click the patient's icon first, like this. And when you do, you see a list of all your cases. I've just got a few cases here that I've prepared earlier, and you can have an unlimited number of patients, and they're identified for searching and finding by last name, first name, and an ID that Vision associates with each patient as you add them into the database. What I'll do, and you can search, obviously, sorry I forgot to mention that, you can search here if you've got many patients to look for, or you can just scroll down if that's just as easy for you. I'm going to use Lainey Catamol as my patient here, and when I click on Lainey, her personal details are shown on the right side and on the left side of the screen. Just basic address information, phone, contact information, date of birth, occupation, any brief notes you want to write about Lainey, and if you wish, a brief diagnosis of presenting or chief complaints. All of these fields are totally optional. You don't have to fill any of them in if you don't want to, but I obviously have, so you can see how it works. In the bottom right corner you can see a list of all the consultations, and by the way, the word visit and consultations means the same thing in the Vision patient database. And what I'm going to do now is just show you the visits and how they do look, and then I'll go back and show you how to create them for yourself. So here we are, we can see the list of consultations. We've had 3, and they're ordered with the most recent visit at the top and the oldest at the bottom. There are only 3 visits for Lainey here. If there were more, you could just drag the scroll bar down to the one you wanted to reference. And I'm going to pick the oldest visit here by highlighting it, and I can click the View Edit Consultation button, or you can just double click on the consultation to open it up. This looks like a bit of a daunting screen, but it isn't once you understand it. Across the top you put the date of the consultation, the time and the setting. You have an area for you to freeform type any case notes you wish. Some people put a brief case note, others could type the whole case up in the Vision system here. You have a full word processor with total control over the contents of the case, and you can zoom in or out of the text to suit your Vision needs. Across the bottom it looks a bit complicated, but you can record 3 different remedies, homeopathic remedies, that you've prescribed per visit, and all you have to do is choose the remedy by typing in or dragging and clicking. And as you can see here, the remedy that was given was Nuxvom. These are blank, which means other remedies were not chosen. Nuxvom was chosen in a 200C and given once. Over here on the right hand side is some brief analysis information. You don't have to record anything here, but you can if you wish to maintain interesting records for when you look back. And if you have associated a repertorization with the case, then the repertorize button will be displayed here for you. So I'll just click that now so you can actually see the repertorization that I did when Lainey Catamol first visited. There you see the chart, brief rubrics, list of remedies. That's what her case looks like. So you can go back in at any time and revisit previous repertorizations for your patients and their visits. But the most important thing is when you've finished, and let's suppose I added a new rubric onto Lainey's case, you must remember to then click the patient's button to return to the patient's database, so that Vision records whatever you've done in the repertorization and records all the rubrics and remedies against the patient visit. If you were to close out now, yes, you get a warning message from Vision, but it would not associate it with the visit record until you click back on the patient's button here, which tells Vision, I want to save what I've just done. And now when we go back, that new repertorisation with 4 rubrics on has been saved. It does also, as you can see, it lists the case file here. This is purely informational. It does it automatically. It just shows you where the case is stored on your Mac computer for reference. It's always good practice to click Save Visit, like so, to record any notes you've changed or settings. And that's the first visit for Lainey. And the last visit here, I'll double click on that just to show you the discharge note for the patient, as she was totally cured just through 1 remedy in 200C, which is wonderful. A slight feature I just want to mention, you can go forwards and backwards through your visits by clicking the previous and next visit buttons here. You see how I'm moving through? So I'm back to the first initial visit, then I can say show me the next visit, no repeat remedy given, and the final visit for the discharge. And finally, you can print your case notes. So if you just wanted to print something off very quickly and put it in your patient file, you can click print here to do so. Okay, so that's how it should look. I'm briefly now going to show you how to make it work. So pretend you have a new patient coming in. The obvious thing is you click the create new patient record. So we'll give our patient a name. Always have to give it a name, obviously. Say it, the patient I meant. And all of this is optional, totally optional, and I'm not going to type it all in here. It's just freeform typing, and at the end click OK. And now we will have a new patient in our database, and as you can see here, Mr. Baggins has been added right to the end, patient ID 18. If I order them by last name, you can see now in the B's. Mr. Baggins is highlighted, and again, if I'd forgotten to type anything, I can just retype it on the right hand side of the screen for the patient, always remembering then to click Save Patient if that's what I needed to do. But the patient's in front of me, we've added them into the system, we want to create a new consultation record for them. So here we go, we'll put the date of the consultation, the time you saw them, the setting. These are just for your own records. You can just choose from one of 7 settings here, and then here you can just free format any case notes you like, changing the font, the size, the emphasis. Colours are here if you want to change. This is a full word processor and unlimited case notes that you can type in. And if we then trying to get this through in a logical sequence, having created the vision for today's date, the next logical thing is you want to repertorise, so you would then click the repertorise button and you would add a few rubrics into the case and repertorise, and do that for everything in the case. And when you've finished, as I said before, the most important thing for you to remember is to click the patient's icon here, so Vision will now associate that repertorisation for Bill Baggins with this specific visit record. You could then put in some notes and remedies that you've decided to prescribe. Let's say I wanted to give Arsenal 30C. Just type a few letters like this until you find the remedy, and then here choose the potency that you want to give. I don't know what we'll do, just once again. Just one remedy, Arsenal 30C, just once. Any other remedies, you can just free format type into here. The well-being is how they feel the very first time they come to see you. So I would choose initial visit here. This is what's your confidence level that you've chosen a good remedy. Very good. And just basic height, weight, blood pressure, and of course if you've charged a fee you can record that there. And at the very end you type save visit. And now when we go back for Bill Baggins, you can see we have visit record, and at a glance you can see you gave him Arsenal 30C on the 6th of June 2020. So that's basically it. Patients, visits, repatriations, all within the patient's database.